Booker Corrigan here with CSE TV, joined by Johns Hopkins head coach Dave Pietramala. Coach, you've been in the business for a long, long time. Is there a veteran coach that you look to or go to when you need a little bit of advice about the sport?
I think there are a lot of people that we rely on, and don't let anybody tell you that every coach doesn't have his or her support group, and I certainly have mine. I've had the distinct pleasure of being around a lot of great ones. I played for one and have worked for a couple, but the few that come to mind, obviously one is Bill Tierney, Hall of Fame coach. Coach Tierney recruited me to Johns Hopkins, was the defensive coordinator when I was there through my sophomore year. Was tremendously disappointed when he left us to move on to Princeton, but I think we've all seen how his vision panned out. But he's been a mainstay, and I think the one thing that it's been with Coach Tierney, you might think a lot of it's X's and O's and very defensive oriented, but to be quite frank, it's been more philosophical in approach and how to handle kids and morals and values and ethics and those kinds of things. Another person has been Coach Belichick. I've developed an outstanding relationship with him. When we first met, it was almost kind of like you needed to pinch yourself to make sure this was all real. And it's just become a great friendship. We talk, weekly during each of our seasons, whether it's via text or phone call. And he's been invaluable. I mean, how can you not lean on a guy who's, the premier, football coach in the NFL at the highest level. And he's just been phenomenal philosophically. He loves lacrosse, so he's got his own thoughts and ideas. And it's really, quite frankly, nice to get a fresh perspective and a little different perspective, but how to handle situations. And then the other one is my dad. My father, is my hero. And, I grew up, wanting to be like my dad. And while I'll never admit it to him, and I'll never come out and ask the outright question, what would you do here? Dad tends to offer his advice anyway, as I'm sure you know.
Yes.
Most fathers do. He's very quick to share his advice, but usually it's pretty sound. So those are three individuals that I kind of lean on.
Which college team has the best home field advantage or the most exciting venue in which to play?
I'm a Johns Hopkins alum.
Yeah.
I'm the head coach at Johns Hopkins. For me, you can't find a better place than Homewood Field. It's the most historic venue in the sport of lacrosse. It's considered by some the Yankee Stadium of lacrosse or the Fenway Park of lacrosse, depending on who you talk to. But when I sit in my office, which overlooks Homewood Field now, and I look out and I think about the countless first-team All-Americans and All-Americans, the countless national champions, players of the year, positional players of the year, and then obviously the great coaches, Don Zimmerman, Henry Ciccarone, Bob Scott, and so on and so forth, William Schmeiser. It's hard not to pick Johns Hopkins. And then game day, it's an electric atmosphere. It's a program that's supported not just by the student body and the university, but by the community at large. So, it's pretty neat walking off Homewood Field after win and having 40, 50 kids sitting there asking for your autograph and asking for your stick, your glove, your socks, your shoes.
I was one of those kids one day.
So I think you can understand why, for me, it's pretty dear to the heart, but I think Homewood Field's the best venue in the sport.
Dave Pietramala, our guest today here on CSE TV.